Good morning, good afternoon, sometime good day. Curtis Bay here. Welcome to Life is Hard. I'm going to be the host of your show for, I hope, many episodes and many months and years to come. I decided a while ago that I was going to just start talking about how difficult life can be and wrap that in some solutions and opportunities and success stories and some winning stories, folks that have faced the challenges and figured out ways to get around them, or found particular systems or programs or people who've made a difference in their life. And I started this maybe 7 or 8 videos ago. I'm clearly not very good at it or anything, but that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to do it this way, was because I'm not a professional. I didn't come out of journalism school or media training or anything like that. I'm 61-year-old widowed father, husband, businessman, friend, lover, and I lost my wife January 2022, and my world looked all of a sudden a lot different than I'd ever anticipated. We were supposed to grow old together, like most people dream of. We'd been married for 37 years. When this happened, been together for 40, and had everything completely planned out, knew exactly what we were going to do. Both of us had decent upbringings. Mine was a little bit different than most folks, but it's not an uncommon story. Single parent, no dad, poverty, food lines, EBT, SNAP benefits back in the day. If you caught my age at the beginning, you know that we had funny money back then. You didn't stand in line with a card, you stood in line with colored money that was different than everyone else. So there was all that social anxiety around why we were using that money instead of the regular money and all those sorts of things. And there's a whole backstory to all of that that I want to share and get into. I believe, like I said, it's not an uncommon story, and I believe there's a lot of folks that have came out of these same situations and found ways to not only contribute to society and their families and friends and things like that, but actually come out on top. And I've had a lot of people, my wife mostly would tell me that, you should be telling this story, you should be writing a book, all of these things. And I've never done it, but after experiencing this, I was faced with a lot of self-reflection. Let me tell you, when you lose someone that's been with you for that long, and even if you have adult kids and things like that who hopefully are doing well, and thankfully mine are, you're very alone. And there are a lot of things that you're not prepared for. And I'm not talking about just financially, although that's a major burden oftentimes. Especially if you've had everything planned and you know what you were going to do and how you were going to manage the next week, next month, next year, and all of that. And then suddenly to get that explodes in your face and you have to start completely over. So I intend to be very transparent, honest, and my goal is to cover the news of the day, the news of the state, the region, the nation, how some of the topics and things that are happening in those media affect us at the dinner table and or at our bar stool and our favorite watering hole. But then also things that we can take away from that to hopefully benefit and capitalize on those particular situations. We'll have guests from time to time. I intend to try and promote a life of family financial literacy, having come from poverty and come from a place where nothing was given to me. I had to work my ass off to get anywhere in life at all, and I've failed miserably many times, but was successful enough to be able to get on top and take care of my family and do the things that everyone dreams of doing. So I've got a little bit of a backstory. I've got some more new context to share, and I think hopefully there's enough people out there that will be interested in wanting to know and feel some camaraderie around someone that's gone through something similar as them, someone who's dealing with grief like I am, the challenges of both the emotional strife as well as the financial burdens, and then the interactions with people, just the social conflict that occurs with being a third wheel everywhere you go, or someone's trying to set you up, or worse than that, you meet someone and they're fun and you really enjoy them, and then that becomes overwhelming, and you feel there's so many feelings that get mixed up in all that stuff. And I know there's other people that have gone through it because I hear it all the time. But my goal is to create a channel that will be fun, it will be entertaining, it will have shared experiences for folks like us who have a lot of life we've lived, and yet still have a lot to give. And I hope that you'll find this as a safe environment, a fun environment. We'll cover everything from the Charlie Kirks, Candace Owens, to the Venezuela situation, to Bitcoin and other crypto, to gold and why it's so important, and we'll cover all of the other benefits that our social net fabric is supposed to take care of, and how things have fallen through the cracks oftentimes. We'll talk about sports and entertainment and how that interacts in our lives, and what we can take away from it. What can we learn from sports and entertainment, the discipline mostly, the unwillingness to give up, the pursuit of excellence in most cases, and all of those things. We'll cover all of that, and like I said, we'll have a few guests from time to time that will help cover those things as experts. So we'll be able to talk on the family financial literacy campaign. We'll be able to speak specifically to real estate, or entrepreneurship, or starting a business, or creating an LLC, or partnering, or joint ventures, or everything like that. We'll have experts that come in and talk about mortgage rates and what's happening in the financial markets that might affect that. We'll talk to people about your first step to starting a business. We'll have people come in and talk to us about how to get your child into a great sports program, and what you should really be looking for at a particular age, and who are those people that you can trust that aren't going to be interested in just taking your money, but are actually going to try and give you something that your kids can benefit from, and you can have some joy instead of being the father or the mother that are just trying to live through their accolades. So. But I hope that it's going to be fun. My goal is it's supposed to be some sort of a Jon Stewart type show, if you would. If you remember his show on the Comedy Hour, and it was a humorous attempt at some of the news of the day, and he took shots at everybody while leaning in one particular way. It was still a pretty good show. So I hope to be able to do something along those similar lines, but fold in the realities, fold in the real issues that we face every day, and deal with the things that no one really wants to deal with. So sometimes we might spend more time on a particular topic than most folks are interested in, but I can tell you, after talking and speaking in front of people and being in engagements where I've given not only my testimony, but my story about my wife and my family and all of those things, it's clear that more and more people are living in the same kind of quagmire and looking for a way to be able to get out, find some people that can support them and that they can support. I believe pretty strongly in a sort of a mantra that I've created, that men were created with a mission in mind, if you would. So we've got the hamster wheel of life where we just get on, churn that out. We go through our 9 to 5s, we work hard, we try and do the right things. And we hope that the good outweighs the bad in the end. But I believe that the reason that works, and the reason we've been programmed to kind of do that, is because men were wired to contribute. Whether you go back to our days of living in caves or whatever you want to call it, the man was wired to contribute. He got up every morning, he went and took care of the cave, he took care of the front yard, protecting areas, setting up defense mechanisms for whether it was rodents, other animals, or other clansmen from another tribe, whatever, building shelters, laying farm work, whatever that was. He had to contribute, and he knew what that contribution was supposed to look like every single day. And he had responsibilities for the rest of his tribe or team, and he knew what those would be too. Ultimately, that contribution, he needed recognition, or it had to have impact. So it could have positive impact or it could have negative impact. And most of the time, once you were rewarded positively, you wanted to go back to that impact. When you knew that at the end of the night, after a hard days of contribution of hoeing the field or building the shelter or fighting off rodents or setting up defense mechanisms, whatever it is, all the way through life history, it's been this way. That impact, when you realize the impact that you were having on your family, your friends, your community, everything like that, you wanted more of it. And depending on the reward, whether it was a spouse, a lover, a community, a whatever, that reward could be a kiss on the cheek, a pat on the ass. It could mean a street named after you, the keys to the city. It could mean a advancement in your career, your job. But once that reward was established, it made you want to do it over and over and over again. Hence the hamster wheel in life. We've been programmed that that's what we do, and our impact and rewards have always been sort of messed up, because we might impact someone positively, but on the other side, because we weren't conscious of our what the adverse effects might be for another party, we hurt or harm somebody, and then we can't figure out how come things don't get any better. On the other side, along with that, there's the reward cycle. And that reward, like I said, could be a kiss, it could be a pat on the ass, community keys, whatever. But if that reward rewards you for poor performance or poor alignment in the community, or for underhandedness or evil, misdeed, all of those kinds of things, if that reward, though, does reward that impact, you're going to do it again. So my goal has always been to try and drive the right kinds of thought, philosophy, love, companionship, honor, integrity, all around contribution, impact, and reward. And I've said it 100 times if I've said it at all, and that is that as a result of my contribution, and I feel like I have to contribute, it's the only thing I have left. It's the only purpose I have left in life is to glorify God and honor my wife. And the way I can honor her best is by contributing in a meaningful way to other people, other members of our society, my family, etc. And have that impact or that contribution be a positive impact in their life. Zig Ziglar said, if you help enough other people get what they want, you'll get what you want. I believe wholeheartedly in that. And I believe that if we can share these stories and things like that, we'll all get better, and we'll find a safe place where we can, it's okay to share tough times, good times, whatever, but hopefully with the opinion and initiative of growth and helping others. So that reward, hopefully that reward is for doing the right things and aligning in a solid purpose and helping others. And as a result, we'll do that over and over and over again. So welcome. That was long and rambling. And like I said, I'm not a professional at this. There'll probably be little or no editing on this at all. I don't know how to edit. So these things are things I'm going to go through as I continue to pour out my thoughts and heart in this channel. I hope you find it of value. I hope you'll subscribe. I hope you'll like it. I hope you'll share it. This is what I'm going to do to help and honor my wife and glorify God in the best way I know how. Like I said, I'm 61 years old, and looking out at the future, the digital online AI world looks like the only way to get on top and stay on top and be able to help others in mass is through this online program. So thank you again. Look forward to spending many, many more days and hours with you. Click subscribe if you would. Click like, and then put something in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. I will read them, obviously, and love to get back to folks and respond. I'm also starting on the cusp of the Family Financial Literacy Campaign. I'm starting a school program. So we will, on Mondays, we'll have what I'm going to call the lab. The lab will be devoted to business development, starting a business, actual real businesses that work online, not the fake ones, spend $20 and get the $1 million blueprint, all that kind of crap. But then on Wednesdays, we'll have what I'm going to call support or couch therapy it'll be an opportunity for folks to be able to voice their challenges for the week so far around the businesses, or the starting of a business, or maybe they were stuck in a particular place on a campaign. They couldn't figure out how to use YouTube, or they couldn't figure out how to do what. Wednesdays will be a day for that. We'll spend an hour as a team and as a group going through that. And then on Fridays, we will revisit the week and refresh. And Friday will be an opportunity to be able to reflect on the week, what we did in the week, what we progressed on, what our next challenges are for the following week, and then we'll celebrate some wins and move on again. That program will begin probably within the next week or two, and there'll be a link in the description for that. And then any real business opportunity that we have found, or any real partner that we believe will help drive the right message to the community and give back and help support members of our program as well as members of their own community, families, etc. We will make sure that we promote those folks and align people with those resources. So thank you again. Again, rambling, I apologize, but I hope you got something out of this, at least in terms of where we're going to go with it. And you can look forward to catching up on these stories and this sort of, it's not going to be a podcast of sorts, but it'll be an opportunity for us to connect and share our experiences and figure out how best to not only help ourselves, but to be able to help others. Thank you so much. Click the link in the description for any one of the things that we've talked about, that I've talked about here. If you want more information about the Skool program, you want more information about Business in a Box, you want more information about how to start something, you want more information about churches, theology, any of those types of things, just contact us directly. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share the video. Please comment, and I look forward to many, many more of these.